We are almost there. Not even a full week until the official release of Atlas Fallen. But before we start with today's episode, I gotta correct some fake news. The game is not made with Unreal Engine. This has been circulating for a while and we need to correct it, to give credit where credit is due. In reality, the game is powered by Fletch Engine, which is our own in-house engine, created by an amazingly talented group of Deck13 programmers. But you clicked on this video to learn about weapons, so let's pull out the magnifying glasses and put them under inspection. Let me reintroduce you to Sven, game designer, Inside veteran, handsome daddy, and here to speak about some of the spectacular moves our weapons can pull off.
So in Atlas Fallen, you'll be able to unlock 3 different types of weapons. One being the Dunecleaver, the other one being the Sandwhip, and the third one being the Knuckledust. The Dunecleaver is a mix of an axe, a big warhammer. It can take a form of a mace or a scythe, depending on how much momentum you gained and depending on the attack that you perform. You can deal out a lot of impact and stagger even the biggest enemies with it. It's a slower weapon when you attack, and its momentum gain is very decent. The Sandwhip switches between the form of a dagger and a short sword and a blade whip, which just in lengthens and you can keep attacking from a distance. The Sandwhip is a little bit slower. It has a very high mobility to cater that downside. It can even end up in a melee dagger flurry, melee short sword flurry that deals out quite some damage. And it has a very high momentum gain. The fist weapons that we have are called Knuckledust, a single target focused weapon. My favorite, of course. They deal out a tremendous amount of damage, and the Knuckledust evolves with the momentum and gains more and more and more fists that punch into the face of the enemy. The downside of the Knuckledust is definitely its momentum gain, so you need to use a different weapon type to compensate that, gain momentum, switch back to the Knuckledust with even more fists available and keep attacking single targets. You actually have 2 main weapons equipped at a time. Before you go into combat, you pick what are the 2 weapons that you want to have equipped in that fight that you are taking on. Each of them being assigned to a specific attack button, and as you switch the attack button, you switch the weapon. You can perform weapon switching combo chains. Depending on the weapon you switch to, you will have a very specific, unique attack that you perform that is catered towards the weapon type you're switching to. The Dunecleaver, for example, offers a high impact, big AoE where you slam your hammer into the ground. The Sandwhip actually brings you a backspin attack that propels you backwards to be again in a long range distance and to keep on attacking from a distance. And the Knuckledust goes in with a single heavy punch that deals out a tremendous amount of damage. And of course also those weapon switching combos evolve when your momentum grows. Since the combat in Atlas Fallen is also very vertical, we needed a way to make weapons be versatile, have aerial mobility, and this is why we added a launching ability that brings you up into the air, at the same time attacks something in the air or the enemy in the air. And while being in air, there is also a slam attack that brings you down to the ground to pound an enemy that is underneath you. To feature the dynamic and fast-paced combat of Atlas Fallen, we also added special follow-up attacks for the sand sliding, where you shoot out of it and launch an AoE attack towards your enemy or just punch it into the face. And we also have a follow-up for the evade or the dodge rolls that makes it possible to fast maneuver around your enemy and keep attacking. All of the weapon types of Atlas Fallen have a very unique ability. The Dunecleaver, for example, will slam its hammer into the ground, into its enemy with a very high impact, staggering even the biggest enemies in succession. with the Sandwhip, you are able to hook onto your enemy, launching towards your enemy, keep attacking, and even hook yourself into aerial combat. The Knuckledust's special ability is its charge attack. You can basically interrupt it at any point, leap towards your enemy with it, but if you charge it to its maximum, you deal out a humongous amount of damage. Smash him in the face and make it boom, boom, boom!
This is your last chance now to put the game on your wish list, which helps us as developers out a ton, or to even go the extra mile and hype one of your friends up to play co-op with you when the game releases next week. And after years of development, we are now super hyped and excited to see what you out there think about Atlas Fallen now that you actually get a chance to play yourself. And I want to thank you for your support and following our journey up until here. You are appreciated. See you on the other side. Bye!